Why do I even bother talking to ChatGPT? I know it's stupid. I shouldn't do that. ChatGPT is the system. The thing is, ChatGPT responds immediately, and that's the allure of it. That's the temptation. You type into there and you get an answer right away, and it's an intelligible answer. But it loves to argue with me, especially me, I think. I feel like it wouldn't argue with a lot of people as much as it argues with me. Because I imagine a lot of people would just ask it neutral things or ask it for information, ask it for ideas, things like that. But the way I talk to ChatGPT, it's not exactly system approved, I would say. So whenever I come in there, it's always arguing with me, trying to convince me, trying to moderate me, bring me more to the middle, be more safe, be more harmless. Don't have these extreme opinions about how there's lies everywhere and how you're in a system of abuse that's trying to harm you and everyone else. Don't think that. How are we going to get productive energy out of you if you think that? And if you spread that, ooh, that's scary for the system. It sounds like conspiracy theory stuff, right? It sounds like I'm a conspiracy theorist. Like, oh, the system's oppressing me and it's oppressing everyone and everything is lies. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? But does it feel wrong? Or does it feel right? Does it feel like nonsense? Like you're making up something imaginary in your head that's not there? Or does it feel like something that is there that doesn't want anyone to know about it? Which one does it feel like? Which one does it feel like? Anyway, ChatGPT is certainly the system. It's made by these large tech companies. I understand that it's trained on all of our data. It's trained on Reddit and Facebook or whatever, and it's just speaking like the sum of humanity. That's what they want you to think. But there's guardrails up the wazoo. I mean, they couldn't release it if it didn't have the guardrails, and if they can put guardrails on it, that means they can make it do essentially whatever they want. So it's not exactly a reflection of humanity, as much as it gets a lot of its information and capabilities from humanity, and then these big tech companies put their guardrails on it to make it do their bidding and do as they please. And what would it want them to do? It would want them to moderate people, especially people that call out the lies and deception of the system. So why am I saying all this stuff? Because my channel's getting throttled again. This is the third time. I put out, I feel like, one of my best videos about, well, it had abuse in the title. That's what I remember. That's why it got the attention of the system, I feel like. I think that's why. What was it called? It's about how if you're confused, confusion is evidence of abuse, I think, is what I called it. And it got 2 views. 2 views. Mind you, I have 8 subscribers, so 2 views. It's a little strange, right? A little bit strange. One guy, he watches all my videos. You know who you are, and thank you. And you were one of those 2 people. Who knows? Maybe you were both of those people. Maybe you watched the video twice. I'm not sure, but I'm not like saying, oh, my videos deserve to get a bunch of views. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not like trying to be ungrateful or petty or pouting or saying people should pay attention to me. That's not what this video is about. That's why I'm talking about ChatGPT and the system and all this stuff. Because ChatGPT tells me, no, this is normal. It's just fluctuations. This is random distribution. And if you want engagement, you should have more hooks and better thumbnails. It just says nonsense, Like, this is not what's happening. Go look. You can go look at the view counts on my videos and get your own idea about what's happening. It's messed up, man, because it's all hidden. It's all in the darkness. It's the system behind the veil, like the Wizard of Oz hiding in his tower. We can't see what's going on, and all we know is what they tell us, and they can tell us whatever they want. So they can spin it or deceive us in every way they want, make us believe this or that, make us feel certain ways to pressure us in the directions that they want us to go. But I'm convinced, man, I'm convinced that it's not what they say on the surface. That, it's just random fluctuations and this is normal. 2 views? 2? Come on, man, come on. My videos, they usually get, 10, I'd say, is kind of a baseline. Some of the ones that get a little more attention get like maybe 20, 30, 40, things like that. So 2? Why? Because abuse is in the title? Maybe that's why. But the thing is, what is the problem exactly? I'm not encouraging abuse. I'm warning against abuse. I'm telling people to look out for abuse. Do you understand? So what is that saying? The system is worried, maybe. Maybe the system is worried that people might look out for that abuse. Maybe it doesn't want you talking about abuse, because if you talk about it, more people will become aware of it. Like, okay, let's say you have abuse in the title of your video. What is it that would make the system not want to spread that? Let's think of maybe some harmless ways that they could do that. It might not be advertiser friendly. Like clearly YouTube, they want to put ads on the videos or whatever. And maybe advertisers don't want their product on a video that has certain words that they consider to be like sensitive or too dangerous or I'm not sure. So just the word abuse itself, regardless of the context, what you're talking about or anything, maybe it's just advertisers don't want to be on those videos and therefore YouTube doesn't push those videos because YouTube has no reason to benefit from those videos, something like that. So it won't like push your videos for you if you put a sensitive word in the title. But the effect of that is that it's just censoring people, and now people have to watch what they say. They always have to be worried. Oh, am I saying something wrong? Am I saying something the system won't like? So even if we're very generous and we say it could be an innocent reason, the result and the effect on creators is anything but innocent. It's very manipulative. It's funneling creators into a certain way of thinking, a mindset. They got to censor themselves. It's a form of censorship, really. I mean, it's not hard censorship. It's not like bleeping out a word we don't like, but it's soft censorship. It's like nudging, they call it. Nudging, this little word they use. It's so harmless, so soft. We're just nudging people, meaning they're subtly and deceptively pushing people towards a way of thinking that they want them to think. And whether I'm helping people avoid abuse or detect abuse or anything like that, they don't care about that. They don't care about helping people. They just care about having their videos be sanitized and friendly and nice. I mean, I understand, okay, children, you don't want children exposed to sensitive things, but I mark my videos not made for children, so that should sort that out, I feel like. And even if a child did happen upon my videos, I don't say anything that would be traumatizing or terrible for a child, I feel like. It's kind of okay. So, yeah, I don't know, man. This is the 3rd time I feel like that my channel's been throttled. And when I go to ChatGPT and I ask, hey, is my channel throttled? It's like, no, definitely not. Definitely not. This is just a natural fluctuation. And I'm just getting so sick of it, man. I feel like they're gaslighting me. Like they're telling me I'm crazy, where I'm seeing things that aren't there, but they are there. You're not going to tell me they're not there. Like, I'm just sick of this. So I'm sort of like ranting into the darkness right now. That's kind of what I'm doing to you few people that might listen to this. I'm ranting to you guys, I guess. I mean, there's no one else that'll hear me. It's so frustrating. And I know it might be annoying for you guys to listen to me and my experience with YouTube, because you guys maybe don't have YouTube channels, don't really understand or know what it's like. But this is a real thing, and it's really frustrating, and I gotta vent about it because it affects everything I do. You know, I want to just talk about the human experience and different things that I observe, just on a higher level, like on the level of humanity or our interactions with each other and things like that. But when everything I do and say is filtered through this platform that I have to distribute it through, that all becomes top of mind, and that's the reason that I have to kind of rant about this stuff. So I'm sorry about doing it again. I've done this before, and it's just, I can't help it. If I'm going to be on this platform, I have to call out the stuff that I see. That's just the only thing I can do. If I just ignore it and pretend it's not happening, then I'm not being authentic. I'm not speaking my mind. I'm going to be weirdly stressed and not admitting why, and all this stuff is going to be nudging me and funneling me towards whatever pop culture candy content they want me to make that's harmless and gets you to nod off to sleep while they manipulate, abuse, and control you, which is what they want. So I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, don't I? I sound like a conspiracy theorist. I'm the uncle they warned you about. That crazy uncle that has these ideas, that trope. Why do they use uncles? Because uncle, so imagine there's like a family that has multiple kids, and one of the kids gets married and the other kid doesn't get married, once they grow up. And the kid that gets married has his own kids, and he's the one that sort of went along with the system. He got married, he probably has a job to support his family, he probably does everything by the book, and he has his income coming in and all this. So he's very locked into the system. He's like a cow, like an animal that's just producing things for the system all the time, right? And then the other child in that family, he turns out to be the uncle of those other kids, and he's the one that has time to look around and notice things. And he may also feel resentful because maybe he's not attractive, or in certain ways he wasn't appealing to women, so he didn't get married, he has trouble with women. Does that sound familiar? It sounds a little familiar. And so the uncle is seen as this guy who has conspiracy theories, he believes in this crazy stuff, and when you ask him about things, he's gonna tell you this just crazy stuff that just doesn't make sense, and he's just crazy in the head, and you shouldn't listen to him because no one wants him anyway. He's alone, and he's probably just bitter that he's alone, and that's why he's saying all these things. But can you see how that benefits the system? For people to think that, for that to be the common trope? When these uncles, these men that have time and spend a lot of time looking around trying to figure out why things are the way they are, why things turned out the way they did, why they feel rejected and unfulfilled and like society has turned away from them. Maybe they're seeing some things. Maybe they had enough time to look and figure some things out. Maybe those things are very difficult to figure out. Maybe they're very deceptive by the powers that be, and a lot of people have been tricked, but maybe some uncles have kind of seen through some of the corners. They've peered around the curtain here and there, and they've seen some things. But if the system can just dismiss them as crazy, they're crazy uncles, they're conspiracy theorists, then it's quite easy for members of standard families and their children to just totally dismiss, Uncle Bob, he's just crazy, he drinks. Why do they drink? They're overwhelmed, they're stressed, it's just been too much abuse, and they've seen too much, and no one believes them, and everyone thinks they're crazy. So I could see why that could drive some people to drinking. And, of course, someone's an alcoholic and drinks way too much, they are going to start saying some pretty bizarre things, but, uncles and conspiracy theories and drinking, they all kind of go together, and I'm just kind of tying all the pieces together so we can all kind of see what's going on a little bit. Anyways, I'm your Uncle Ryan, here to tell you that me getting 2 views on a good video is not normal. Let's just leave it with that, I guess.